Gotcha.
Devil's Madness is a light bowgun in Monster Hunter World, is rarity 7. This is the Deviljho light bowgun. It's most comparable to the Valhazak light bowgun, but note that it has a higher attack value of 299. However, it's kind of balanced out by negative affinity of 25% and no decoration slots. It does have 2 augmentation slots rather than 1, so you can use one of those augmentation slots to try and counter that negative affinity. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ammo types on this light bowgun. So this is the reason why it's comparable to the Valhazak light bowgun, is because the ammo type is kind of a clone ammo type. The difference is going to be that Devil's Madness gets level 2 and level 3 sticky ammo. However, it does not have paralysis ammo. Those are the 2 main differences. If you're fighting a monster who's weak to paralysis but immune to sleep, maybe you'll consider bringing the Valhazak light bowgun instead. Now my first thought with this weapon was, oh my gosh, I'll do a sticky build with it. But the problem with that is that the sticky ammo has really bad recoil, and then if you're putting all of the mods into recoil, you aren't able to get really good reload times, which is the other mod we're really interested in here. So I didn't really like a sticky build. The other problem, of course, is that if you just build the Deviljho heavy bowgun, it's a way better sticky build. It just is. You know, it has cluster bombs and it has the wyvern ammo, and those 3 together, you know, sticky, cluster, wyvern, it's just so much better than the light bowgun version. So we're not going to worry too much about the sticky ammo as a primary source of damage. What you can do with the sticky ammo is when you're playing with maybe a hunting horn friend or a hammer friend, you can use your sticky ammo, you can shoot the monster on the head, and that'll increase the stun damage so that you're able to KO the monster sooner. That's probably the one time I would be thinking about the sticky ammo. But as a source of damage, it's kind of inefficient unless you build for it, and even in that case, you just have better options like the Deviljho heavy bowgun. So we're going to look instead at the slicing ammo on this weapon. As many of you know, slicing ammo was nerfed because it was too powerful. And what's happened here is they haven't re-improved the slicing ammo. Instead, they've released a new light bowgun that just by default has a higher attack value, right? So what ends up happening is the slicing ammo feels, you know, kind of powerful just because it's a better light bowgun. So what you want to do is you'll go in on the build and you'll build weakness exploit. And of course, that's a skill where if you're hitting the monster on its weak spot, you have a 50% increased affinity, right? That's going to get rid of the negative affinity and give you some positive affinity. Also, you're going to take maximum might. I was able to get 2 levels of maximum might onto the build, and that's going to give you some affinity when your stamina bar is full as well. So those 2 things go really well on this build. The last thing you're going to bring with you is the Affinity Booster, and so you're going to use your Affinity Booster, and if anyone else brings an Affinity Booster, you're really going to benefit from that as well. So get inside of that. And like I said at the beginning of the video, since this is a rarity 7 weapon, you're actually able to take those augmentation slots and build against the negative affinity with that. Your second augmentation slot can either go for affinity again, or it can go for health regen. Let me go ahead and talk a little bit about the other ammo types on this light bowgun. You have the normal ammo type, goes all the way up to 3, but 3 has too much recoil, so I mostly only use 2 if I use it. Pierce is also just okay. The problem is, why would I use Pierce when I can just use my slicing ammo? Then we have spread. I actually like and use the spread ammo. What I do is, whenever the monster is knocked over, I'll get close to them with the spread and shoot them in their weak spots, and it does a ton of damage. Then of course we have sticky, which you can use that for KO stun, right? And then we jump over to poison. You got level 2 poison. This is really effective. You know, I feel like poison is one of those underrated damage types in the game. You don't see it used or built for enough. Well, this weapon really has access to it with the 7 whole shots. Rank 2 poison, very little recoil. Yeah, it's really great on this gun. Of course, you have level 1 sleep. That's always useful. You know, I feel like sleep in the late game, you have a lot of monsters that are kind of resistant to sleep, but you just get them to go to sleep one time, and your whole team gets an opportunity to sharpen their weapons, craft, and set down a ton of barrel bombs and kind of jump ahead in the fight if they set off a bunch of barrel bombs. Note that it also pairs pretty well with your special ammo. Finally, exhaust. I'm not as big a fan of exhaust. I think exhaust works on threat level 2 and threat level 1 monsters pretty well, but I've never been impressed with it when fighting the Elder Dragons. I don't know if maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe some of you have had better success. It does come with dragon ammo. The problem with dragon ammo is you run out of it really fast, so unless you want to constantly be crafting it, I wouldn't bother with it too much. It's a really weird ammo right now, and honestly, I think they need to increase the amount you can carry in reserves in order for it to be considered more. And then, of course, you have the slicing ammo, which is really good on this weapon, just because it's the highest damaging light bowgun in the game. And you have demon armor, which I don't really use demon armor too often, to tell you the truth. Maybe I should be. I believe it lasts for 2 minutes, the buff does. So, I mean, if you want to use all your demon ammo, go for it. For me, just going from fight to fight is too much to keep up with. It's not good enough. If I wanted to buff my team's attack, I would go grab a hunting horn, because you get to do that for free. You just play your melodies, right? Okay, moving right along, the question is, who should you be using Devil's Madness against? Well, I would say keep an eye out for monsters who have a particular weakness to poison and sleep, right? This would include Kushala Daoda, who has a 3-star weakness to poison, and the reason I mention him specifically is because you do have that slicing ammo. The slicing ammo is terrific against all of the Elder Dragons. It ignores their shields, it just does damage, but with that being said, since this is a weapon that really relies on weakness exploit, you still want to be shooting Kushala Daoda in the head. So either way, you would have been shooting him in the head, right? That's one downside to Devil's Madness slicing ammo build. You need to be getting headshots so that you're getting that weak spot damage. It doesn't necessarily have to be the head, just any of the weak spots, right? Same with the sticky ammo. If you want to get good stun in with the sticky ammo, do your best to land it on or near the head, okay? So, other than that, it also comes with the dragon ammo, which is just another reason to bring it against the Elder Dragons. So if you have somebody else on your team has an Elder Seal weapon and you've got your dragon ammo and the monster becomes enraged, walk right up to him, either put him to sleep or let all of your dragon ammo out onto him, and hopefully that knocks him out of his enragement. Alright, and that is mostly everything I have to say about Devil's Madness. I really feel like this light bowgun is going to catch on with more players when they realize how good the slicing ammo is on this weapon, because I feel like people gave up on the slicing ammo thanks to it being nerfed, but with this being a stronger light bowgun, you're able to get some reasonable damage out on it again, and it's still very easy to use. Just because slicing ammo was nerfed doesn't mean it got any less easy to use, guys, and this is just a terrific light bowgun with the poison 2 and the sleep 1. It's really, really nice. You're sticky if you want to try and cause KO, right? And it's got the 2 augmentation slots, so you just build against the negative affinity anyways. Alright, well I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Do